right, this video tutorial marathon is almost over. I wanted to just use this video to quickly review the closing section we've prepared for the Theory of Change workshop. And you can feel free, especially to adjust this session to make it more relevant to what you feel like is appropriate for the team that you're working with, but hopefully it's helpful. So we like to start off the closing session, allotting about 20 minutes, starting off with a congratulatory moment. It's a lot of work, so take the time to make sure your team feels the importance of this milestone. This session is, or this exercise is maybe more on the optional side, but more and more at TNC, teams are starting to think about program and from like a portfolio management standpoint, thinking about programs in terms of different stages of maturity, emerging projects being more on the exploratory phase with a lot of assumptions that have yet to be validated, a validating ToC that's sort of moving through the process of validating more assumptions, gaining more evidence, demonstrating more correlation between the strategic approaches and the outcomes. And then a scaling ToC that's pretty close to proving those causal relationships and ready to really like amplify their impact by scaling up their solution. And so it can be a useful exercise for a team to get aligned on where they think they are on this scale of emerging to validating to scaling. And this is a useful moment just because the team has just been through the exercise of thinking through what are the assumptions that we're facing and how many logic gaps still remain in our work. This download and digest section is really meant to just give a moment for people to like reflect. What are, key next steps you think would be important for this team? And we split this into implementers and advisors just because at this point, when we're moving more into thinking ahead to improving or implementing the theory of change, giving more weight to the folks who are actually on the implementation team versus folks who are attending more from an advisory standpoint could be useful. Getting feedback on our draft. So this is just a moment to capture who might we want to get feedback from, and even have a conversation with the team about who's going to take what next steps to start getting that feedback in the door. And then finally, some next steps here. So we ask actually that that participants all fill out this little survey. It's just data for us to be able to reflect on, how is this workshop serving folks, even though we don't, we're not meeting everyone individually, since you're the ones now facilitating this workshop. We really like to capture as much learning as we can so that we can know how to iterate and make this experience better for everyone. And then there's a number of other suggested next steps here, which you can review and refine based on what you feel like is appropriate. We put some suggested next steps for you as a facilitator as well, with some formats or templates of deliverables that might that we have found teams find really useful in the aftermath of the Theory of Change workshop. So here's another link to the survey, and that's all. So I'll stop sharing. That is all for the entire Theory of Change module. I've produced one more video, which is about integrating different modules into various steps of the Theory of Change workshop. And so feel free to review that. And otherwise, best of luck, and please don't hesitate to reach out if there's something I can do to help. Thanks so much.